are a different kind of experience. Not my first, though. I've been raving for 15 years. Festivals have here, of course, taught me a lot for someone coming in from the outside, someone who's not used to these kinds of environments. Everything feels beautiful at first, super innovative. People's kindness surprises you, and that's usually the standout trait of these kinds of communities. Everyone helps each other, everyone's smiling, tossing beads, you know. I've been going to festivals since I was 15. It's absolutely shaped my character, and at this one, I found myself reflecting on a few things. Sometimes because I seek out higher states of awareness or more conscious people, I still get get a little frustrated, but that's just me. My standards have evolved, let's say. The things I expect from people, the unresolved issues they carry, it all pops out at me more easily now. But I should also say, everyone has their own problems. Nobody's perfect. It would be silly to go around asking, where are all the complete people? Because that idea of some ideal person that doesn't really exist, while I was writing down all these scattered thoughts, I realized some things about myself too. I paused and thought, wait a minute, you're not perfect either. A lot of people criticize others and forget to look at themselves. Sure, I've done a lot of philosophical and psychological work throughout my life, and maybe that puts me in a slightly more aware position than others. But looking down on people isn't the same as being perfect. I mean, I'm okay with someone seeing themselves as a bit further along than others, that's fine. But seeing yourself as someone who's figured it all out, that I don't really agree with. We all still have roads to travel. That was one of the things this festival reminded me. I told myself that too. I even wanted to write it all down on paper, but I realized I actually prefer talking it out. I don't have much patience anymore for typing everything in a notebook. Speaking it out loud and then turning it into writing, I really enjoy that now. And this piece of writing I'm doing right now, I'll be turning it into audio later. So in a way, this Turkish stream of thought you're hearing from me right now will soon be shared with you in English. This festival gave me space to analyze that maybe there is no such thing as complete, but at least here in this American society, people seem to be genuinely trying to grow, trying to lift each other up. To I teach here också som ger artmästare to such things to coexist with their differences. Wishing for a homogeneous society just feels unrealistic at this point. As a society, especially here in the US, there are of course major issues. People try to educate each other through building community, and honestly, compared to where I come from, the mindset here is way more advanced, especially in the Bay Area. But this whole politically correct thing, or fake kindness, it creates this sort of emotional suppression. And that eventually leads to some kind of aggression or tantrum. You can feel it. People act super controlled when they're trying to express themselves. Authenticity is really low. Yes, their tolerance is higher, but not as high as they think it is. The things that aren't working really stand out. Sure, compared to other places, the percentage of people who've genuinely moved past this stuff is much higher here. I'm not expecting perfection, expecting that would be silly. I'm just pointing out the imperfections too. So yeah, I noticed some things about myself. There are one or two parts I don't really want to share because they feel personal, but here's one core realization. Your people are your people. The ones who can truly understand you are the ones who normalize what you do. And when you surround yourself with people too far from your own vibe, everything you do starts to feel wrong. Not because it is, but because they see it that way. What's considered right or wrong is entirely about perception. And honestly, I think people feel more at peace around others who think in similar ways. Of course, there are spaces that help you grow, where people can point out your flaws with kindness, gently saying, this is okay, but maybe work on it. That kind of communication opens you up to change. But then there are judgmental environments, places where you want to defend yourself, where you don't want to be vulnerable, where being excluded makes you feel like doing nothing for anyone. In fact, those harsh spaces might even sharpen the bad parts of you. That's how I see it. Other than that, yes, dark energy is still around. Well, not overwhelming, but present. Of course, there's much less of it in these environments. At least people don't fight here. Security issues are more manageable too. Still, there are things swept under the rug, or sometimes when people are too open, it creates blind spots. Some folks can't read bad intentions because of their own naivety. The dark energy, it was here too, just like it is everywhere in the world. We can't just eliminate those people. The real question is, how much can we actually include them? How much of a shift can we spark in them? Big question mark. A couple of times during the event, I actually said this out loud to people. I feel like I'm supposed to love everyone in a camp. And they said, no, it's about building community. Okay, maybe it is about community building. But what kind of community are we talking about? The friend I went with, for example, he's more into nerdy types. He said most of the people were monogamous and he didn't fully fit in. He liked them, sure, but said he'd be happier in a space more aligned with his energy. And it wasn't even his first time camping with them. And I said, yeah, that's why I haven't really found a camp where I feel good yet. I didn't go looking randomly on Facebook or whatever. I wanted to be a bit more sure before committing. Because it's a big thing to test, you could end up having a really unpleasant experience. This time, when I went solo with my tent, I didn't have a bad time. Sure, there were a few small things that bothered me, but overall, I liked the vibe. I also enjoy being able to make my own decisions, especially at a festival. Being tied down to too many plans just doesn't work for my personality. Same goes for life in general. I've never liked group decision making, and I don't want to do that at festivals either. I haven't read Burning Man's official statements on any of this. I'm sure there's a lot written about it, but I want to contribute something that's purely my own. I want to share thoughts that come from me, not quotes from someone else. I want to overlay these reflections onto the visuals through subtitles, through voice. Somehow, UNSCRUZ was basically like Burning Man, just on a smaller scale. Same spirit, but I liked how it gave you more chances to really talk to people. You'd meet someone, connect, and then keep bumping into each other throughout the weekend. That was really special for me. I had the chance to talk as much as I wanted, to see people in different situations, to kind of observe and feel them out. Even short interactions were valuable, but this time I had space for longer conversations too. That felt nice. And even though it was short, it ended right on time. It didn't overstay its welcome. Honestly, longer might have been too much. I already find the full-length Burning Man to be really mentally intense. The idea of community being about walking the same path together, it just doesn't appeal to me right now. Unless it's a community with a truly shared ideology, something more aligned in mindset, then maybe. If it's creatives who make films, sure, that could be something I enjoy. The creative community is somewhat close. But I think I'd feel way happier being surrounded only by filmmakers. I actually found one such camp, but it was at the big Burning Man. This year would be my third time, and I'm planning to reach out to them. At UNSCRUZ, this Santa Cruz mini Burning Man, I came across this camp called Purplearium. Everyone wore purple. I asked if I could join them because I also love wearing purple. I even have a separate Instagram account just for my purple outfits. Of course, wearing purple isn't enough of a reason to join a whole camp, and I was half joking when I asked, but they took it seriously and added me to their group. Whether I'll actually camp with them, is still up in the air. Like I said, I want to get to know people a bit. First, see if we actually flow together. I'm not just out here trying to meet anyone. I'm looking for connections that might be useful for my business down the line. I'm not trying to find my best friends in these camps. I already love being alone. That's just my nature. With age, I've become kind of paranoid. But that's rooted in real PTSD, and honestly, I think it's protected me. You don't need something to happen for paranoia to be valid. If paranoia is worrying before something happens, then I believe that level of awareness is healthy. And seriously, don't go overboard. Don't numb yourself to the point where you can't make sound decisions. Don't use substances that shut down your consciousness to that extent. That's crucial. Because yes, there are predators out there. And sometimes they show up with the brightest, most the charming smiles. Or some people really don't enjoy solitude, but I do. And even if I only have 2 or 3 close Turkish friends out here, I still have a community. I don't feel like I need some kind of external circle within my Burning Man camp right now. But I am starting to warm up to the idea of camping with others. Last year, I had a camp, but I didn't even hang out with them. I just wanted to live alone. That was a choice. And right now, I still prefer things like free RV camping or solo tenting, or if I do join a community, I'd rather it be one that aligns with the kind of work I do. Something more connected to my actual life. When I first moved here, I had such big dreams. I was focused entirely on myself, just trying to survive. But now I know I'll learn so much more. There's understanding cultural codes, and then there's reading people's actual character. Spotting American red flags is a whole different skill. You really have to know a culture to see its red flags. Living here in my third life, so to speak, and having lived here when I was 16, had a big impact. That's why I think anyone moving here or to any new place needs to be careful. There are red flags people don't even see in each other. I'll say it again. To have your eyes that open, unfortunately, you have to go through a lot of tough things. You need age. You need experience. So yeah, young people diving into these environments thinking this is amazing without awareness, that's dangerous. People shouldn't only focus on fun, like they need to stay awake. This whole scene requires alertness. Sure, take in everything you can, but don't absorb everyone's energy blindly. Yes, that applies to life in general. And honestly, people who don't go to festivals, who haven't been to Burning Man, who are disconnected from this life, they feel like they're on such a different wavelength, like a more closed off level of awareness. I really think we need to expose ourselves to this many people to grow, to learn. We all have the potential to learn, but do we have the desire to learn? That's the real question. And that's another conversation entirely. Everything's gotten harder. Life is hard for everyone, unless you're a millionaire with that nose in the air kind of ease. Those types, mostly men, you can spot them by how chill they act. But aside from them, everyone seems anxious about where the world is heading. Nothing is the same anymore. Not the spaces, not the vibe, not the world. If we can get even 2 or 3 days of anxiety-free fun, we are grateful, like it's a blessing. That's where we're at. It's honestly heartbreaking that even here, some people still don't get that we're all equal, that we all bleed the same. That still happens. Sadly, this is an event where you can't really talk about politics. But politics is everywhere now. There's no escaping it. Maybe it should be talked about more. I don't know. There's clearly a movement trying to bring people together, and that's beautiful.
I kind of want to. But maybe we also need to fight bigger battles collectively. I don't know, friends. I really don't know what we're gonna do as a world. All I know is I'm trying to enjoy my day. Maybe because I feel like we're so close to not being able to enjoy anything at all anymore. Maybe that's why I'm living these moments like they're our last fun times. And honestly, I don't know what's more heartbreaking than that. And no, it's not like I came to a festival, I got enlightened, now I figured myself out. It doesn't work like that. But these are still deeply valuable experiences for me because of what they teach. Wishing everyone strength